You know, I don't know if it was just me, but I swear the first few months to the first year of games are just the best. You mess with funny bugs, you meet the coolest people sometimes, but then, everyone stops playing and now you're alone and sad again. Well, anyways, hi besties. My name is Elena, and if you like spooky stories of paranormal, supernatural, and video games, then I'm the girl for you. Every Friday night, I stream on Twitch telling a new spooky tale while in GTRP. But there's something else I've been dying, no pun intended, to do, and that is to tell legends of ghosts in video games, starting with Phasmophobia. So, every week, I'll tell you a story of a ghost type that you can hunt in Phasmophobia, as well as a true legend of said ghost. And if you like what you hear, just like and subscribe to little me. So let's get into it, shall we? So those of you who do not know what the hell I'm talking about, Phasmophobia is a PC game where you can ghost hunt, gather evidence, and figure out which ghost is haunting the area before it kills you. Well, the goal is to get out without it killing you, but, sometimes it happens. The ghost is only. So anyways, now, it was released in 2020 and it has a bunch of different maps. There's homes, there's a campground that can be split into two smaller maps, an asylum, which can be done the same thing, a school, and a prison. And you can get it on Steam for like $13, I think. Now, enough chit chat and let's get into the legends of Phasmophobia. So we're going to start off with Jinns. I'm not sure why I chose this one, but anytime I think of Phasmophobia, I think of Jinns. And yeah, so we're gonna start off with Jinns. Now, according to your nifty little ghost book, Jinns are tutorial ghosts, and same, I wouldn't want someone to be wandering in my place. So the Jinn gets its energy from the fuse box being on. It'll take the energy from the fuse box, and once it has its sights set on you and your sanity is just low enough, well, you better find a good hiding spot and fast, because the power source makes it even faster. So in the game, if you remember what I said about finding evidence, the evidence you need for is freezing temps, handprints. Oh no, the other evidence got cut off. Well, I'll tell you right here. Fingerprints and freezing temperature. So sorry, let me rephrase that. Freezing temps, handprints that you can see from the ultraviolet flashlight, and a level 5 EMF. Now I think the one that's missing is if freezing temperatures on here. My fault. So let's talk about the Jinn's strengths and weaknesses. So the strength, the Jinn will travel at a faster speed if the victim is further away. And then the weakness is if you turn off the location's power source, it will prevent the Jinn from using its ability. So now that we know what Jinns are in Phasmophobia, oh my gosh, I have to sneeze. Sorry, I muted my mic. Okay, we're back. Let's talk about the real legend of the Jinn. So a Jinn is a spirit in Arabic mythology, and I will show you a picture right now, but be trigger warning, okay? It's scary. So this is a Jinn. I just looked it up on Google and I just got the first one I found. But if you want to Google it yourself, there's a bunch of pictures, bunch of art. Beautiful. So let's get back to it. So Jinns are also known as genies, which I didn't know about. And apparently the word means hide, while the Jinn word means hidden from sight. And it said that they're a lower rank than angels. Now, Jinns walk the earth but remain unseen by the humans it passes. Although unseen, they take along many forms with many powers. A common thought in pre-Islamic Arabia is that Jinns brought inspiration to poets and soothsayers. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I did look it up, but my mouth doesn't speak sometimes. If you didn't know what a soothsayer is, well, I didn't either, and I had to research them, so you're welcome. So a soothsayer is someone who is believed to be able to foresee the future. I don't know what the hell my hand's doing. Sorry about that. Now, I could have said a psychic, but this is totally more fun. Now, if anything is incorrect, please correct me in the comments. That is so scary. Can we just ignore my arm? Thank you. So anyways, according to my research, jinns are actually a state of fact and confirmed in the Quran. I hope I'm saying that correctly as well. And they are a concept in Islam as creatures parallel to humans, but just on the other side of the veil, who are capable of choosing good or evil, and they are also capable of facing salvation or damnation. Quote, whereas humans are made from clay or dirt, jinns were made from smokeless fire. End quote. Now, jinns are very popular in North Africa, Egyptian, Syria, Persian, and Turkish folklore. The 1001 Night talks about jinns within their collection of Middle Eastern folklore, which I'm going to read in my free time, and you should too, because why not learn a different cultures and folklore? Are you boring or something? Sorry, that might have been a little bit too aggressive. But if you're asking me, Elena, I can't read Arabic. Well, I did my research and found that it was translated, and you can buy it from Amazon in English. However, it's called the 1001 Arabian Nights. Even better than Amazon, Google and find a local bookstore that could have it in stock. Like, what are you doing? So back to the jinns. They are capable of being inside inanimate objects such as trees, rocks, air, fire, and even able to be under the earth. The tree that you study under on campus could be possessed by a jinn watching you. The campfire on the beach, probably a jinn judging how much you're drinking. Now, jinns hold the power to be able to take human or animal form. They possess the bodily needs of humans being and can even be killed. However, they're free from like the physical restraints. And if you're wondering if they can eat or go to the bathroom, according to Sakhr, I hope I'm saying that correctly, they can. They can even marry and produce children. And you don't want to get on jinn's bad side, because if they take a delight in punishing humans for the harm that has been done to them, whether it was on purpose or on accident. So let this be a lesson to be respectful to all entities. Jinns are known to cause many disasters and accidents. However, the rumor has it they aren't always bad. You know the soothsayers and poets? Well, sometimes they would befriend them and even develop romantic feelings for the ones they inspire. Jinns are considered a third class of invisible beings and not automatically seen as a devil entity, which I love. You know, we're always reading about history and about how things that aren't fully understood are automatically witches or devils or demons. So I love that. Now, I could also be wrong on this, but according to my research, jinns aren't only subjected to Islam. No. They can practice Christianity and Judaism. So where do they live exactly? And are you safe from them? Well, I'm glad you asked. Most of the time, jinns typically don't interact with humans and are often wandering around the desert or unclean, abandoned places such as caves, graveyards, darkness areas. And although they typically don't mess with humans, when they do, you could be at risk for possession. Yes, they also possess. Similar to possessions, those victims of the jinn can have seizures and speak an incomprehensible language. They're unable to think or speak on their own will. I was making sure I wrote this sentence correctly. So before you get what I assume is an exorcist, the church needs evidence that this is a real possession. Much like other Catholic, the church needs to evaluate you. Oh, I cannot speak, I'm sorry. Now, there are a couple of ways to get rid of the jinn. The person doing this must have strong faith in Allah to expel the jinn, and the first way to remembrance God and recite from the Quran. Another way is to blow into the person's mouth while cursing and condemning the jinn to leave. Seeking refuge with Allah by calling upon Allah, remembering him while addressing his creatures. Some faith healers have said to strike the person claiming I'm going to reread that sentence again. Some faith healers have said to have striked the person, claiming it's the jinn suffering the pain and not the human. So if that sentence didn't make sense to you, it probably didn't, and that's okay. But what it's saying is that the faith healers, whoever's doing it, would hit the person that is being possessed and cause jinn suffrage. So I know you're probably all asking yourselves, where did the genies or jinns get the wishing power and get stuck in a lamp? Well, although genies and jinns, whichever one you want to call them, are known to be tricky little creatures, from what I read, and this may be wrong, I'm sorry, they didn't get their wishing granting powers in the home of the lamp until the folklore tale became popular among the West. Regardless if they are fiery creatures who love to torment humans for the harm they cause and lead them astray, or they're creatures who live in lamps granting regretful wishes to those who rub the lamp, they aren't a creature I'd want to come across. And how do I know? Well, while I was doing my research, I came across a few articles of those who were brave enough to tell their own stories of the jinn interactions. Sorry, I'm getting really scared. Okay, it's 4:17 a.m. right now. I'm home alone. I'm hearing creaking noises, which is probably my cat, but I'm freaking myself out. Sorry, let me just recollect myself. Okay, oh my god, it is my cat. He just knocked over a water bottle. Oh my god. Okay. So, I got these two cases of possession off the National Library of Medicine. I don't know why it came to a shock to me that the National Library of Medicine recognizes possession. But it does. So I'm going to read you a few cases that were on there. So case 1 is a 25-year-old woman from Iraq with no previous psychiatric history, gradually withdrew from other people, became uncommunicative, and stopped eating and drinking. Investigators revealed no organic disease and several depressive illnesses were diagnosed. Now, she underwent electrocompulsive therapy without improvement. Her family, believing her to be possessed by a jinn, but not wanting to say so to the doctors for fear of being labeled as superstitious, took her to a local faith healer who offered to treat her in traditional Islamic ways. After a few sessions, her condition improved and she resumed eating and drinking. On recovery, she had no explanation for what happened, although she remembered the sequence of events. She stated that she had been aware of her surroundings but had been unable to initiate anything. She denied feeling low mood at the time. 5 years later, she remains well and without medication. Now, case 2, a woman of 35 years experience. My god, I have to edit so much out of this. Case 2, a woman of 35 experienced episodes of high fever and confusion during which her speech became incomprehensible. A local general practitioner diagnosed thyroid fever and prescribed antibiotics. The patient and her family, however, thought she was possessed by a jinn, so she did not adhere to the treatment. She was taken to a local faith healer who reinforced their views and treated her in traditional Islamic ways. However, her condition deteriorated over the next few weeks and she started to have generalized epileptic seizures. One of the authors was then asked to see her. On physical examination, she was jaundiced with, I'm not sure how to say these words. On admission, so I'm gonna put them up here, but I don't know how to say them. And then on admission to the hospital, she was found to have cerebral malaria, for which she was treated successfully. The next article, BuzzFeed News, from Ahmed, who hosts the podcast named See Something, Say Something. He asked his community to send him stories of jinns, as he is Muslim and it was around Halloween time. So I'll only read a few, but I will link his article. If you want to read more of the stories he wrote, you can. So this is an old Persian story. So one day, a lady goes to the public bathhouse. She pays the attendant and goes inside. Oh god, I'm so scared to read these because it's scary. It's nighttime. Okay, so once inside, she noticed someone in the room with her. She looks down at their feet, but instead of feet, the person has hooves. The lady freaks out and runs outside as fast as she can. She rushes to the attendant and tells her that she saw someone with hooves instead of feet. The attendant looks at her, lifts up her skirt, and asks, "Like these?" Imagine, that'd be fucking terrifying. Okay, but it only gets scarier from here. Okay, so don't go anywhere. So apparently in Saudi, my aunt lived in a house that was always being visited by a particular jinn who used to annoy her family. When she was laying in bed at night with her husband, she felt something was off, and when she left the room, she found her husband watching TV on the couch. When they went back to the room to confront the jinn, not comfort, confront, it just laughed and just went away. In my mind, it makes me think that the jinn was just like sitting on the bed, just, "Hey guys," and started laughing, and then just like slowly started backing up and just disappeared into the walls. That's what I think when I read that. How terrifying. That makes me think of doppelgangers. Like you see someone that you think is that someone, but then you go into another room and that someone is actually there, and then someone you thought was the someone is not there. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna pass out. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared right now. Okay. So this next one is, my great uncle went to visit his cousins in India. His cousins told him that since it was summertime, they would all fall asleep in the courtyard together. However, they told him he wasn't allowed to place his bedding in one particular corner. Apparently, a gym slept there, and strange things happened if one disturbs that corner. My great uncle, who said it was nonsense, decided to sleep there anyway. He woke up on the other side of the court. He laughed at first and thought it was his cousins who were pranking him and decided to sleep there again. The following night, the same thing happened. So he left a note next to his pillow saying, "Stop pranking me. I know there's no jinn." And that night, he said he was pushed off his bed and his bedding was thrown to the other side. And a note was also thrown towards his lap which said, "I sleep here." The scariest part is it wasn't that dark out yet, and there's no one else there. Ew. Oh my god. I couldn't even imagine. I think I would pee. I would pee myself, and I don't know where else I would sleep. But also, like, man, you were warned, Respect the space. Okay, so I only told 3 out of the 16 stories in the article. So again, if you are interested, click the link below and read the rest for yourself. And yeah. So there's another story that I found on Reddit. I was going through Reddit, and Reddit has a lot. So I found this one, and it's pretty well, not really long. It was long reading it the first time, but okay, I'm just gonna shut up. So I found this story on Reddit by RobCan167. And it goes, at some point in my early teenage years, 13-ish, I'd wake up in the middle of the night to see a black figure standing at my foot of the bed. Somehow I knew it was a woman, even though I'd never seen her face. She would appear about once every couple of months. The first times it petrified me. I'd sit up most of the night staring at her. Eventually, I got used to her. Depending on how tired I was, I'd either go back to bed, or I'd tell her to go away, or try to speak to her. She would never respond. Occasionally, she would appear standing over me in the bed, and that was the most scariest. Later, a friend of mine who is a qualified psychologist told me there are various stress-related illnesses that can manifest themselves like this. My childhood was very stressful for different reasons, so I assumed that was it. So the last 2 times I saw her when I was about 25 years old, and then again at 7 years old on my honeymoon, when my wife woke me up petrified that there was a woman standing at the foot of our bed. I stared at the woman in black and then at my wife. I was shocked. My wife could see her. I got up to turn the light on and she was gone. I didn't want to scare my wife, so I told her that I didn't see anything. I never told my wife the story because it would just scare her, and I don't think I ever will. I do ask her from time to time if she ever saw her again, but she hasn't. She tells this as a story of her Jinn. But I sit back and listen with a smile on my face because deep down I hope that the woman in black never comes back again. So, as you can see, Jinns or genies, whichever you prefer, are more than a fictional character who is voiced by Robin Williams and Grant Wishes. And maybe, just maybe, there is more to them than the lurking unseen entities who trick and whisper. Hopefully none of you find out. Now, if you have any ghost stories of your own, you can email them to me at ghouliesintthecity@gmail.com, or you can join my Discord, which I will link. Yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe, all those basic things. You can come hang out with me on my Twitch every Friday night when I tell you a spooky tale there as well. And yeah, goodbye.